and super chats. But we all know what you want, right? It's earning money from ads on your videos. That's unlocked at the next level, which requires 1,000 subscribers and then 4,000 watch time hours over 12 months or 10 million shorts views over 90 days.
Sounds fair. Hit the requirements and YouTube will start sharing the ad dollars. Okay, cool. Except there's one tiny detail. See, YouTube doesn't have to wait for you to qualify before they could put ad dollars on your content. Yep, you heard me right. See, YouTube ain't buy this camera or even this microphone, and they definitely ain't write this script. I'm the one who filmed it, I made my edits, and I also made the thumbnail. And most importantly, I convinced you guys to click. And YouTube could be in the background like, appreciate you, player. Meanwhile, I check my bank account and it's dry as hell. $0.00. See, YouTube is pimping us. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to stop being a. Now, I know what you think this video is about. How do I get monetized faster? Wrong. How do I beat the algorithm? Wrong again. Secret algorithm setting? Hell nah. I actually started researching this video because I was pissed off. I was just trying to prove that YouTube is full of it. And then I made the mistake of asking myself the one good question that ruins every good rant. How the hell does this business actually make money? And that's where things got interesting. There are 3 things that I need you guys to see. About the third one, you probably gonna think you understand why YouTube is so powerful, but you won't. Because there's something going on underneath all of this that I really didn't understand until I put the whole machine together. We'll get there, but first, let's imagine that Netflix wants another hit show. Netflix gonna need writers, actors, directors, sets, production crews, editors, marketing, all of that shit. They might even spend millions of dollars before you get to decide whether or not the show is even good. But if YouTube wants another show, they don't greenlight nothing. They just open their doors and wait for one of us to ruin our weekends making it. Cameras, lights, editors, scripts, thumbnails. We fund the audition and YouTube gets the winner. And there are millions of us doing this every single day. But it does get crazier. We ain't just making YouTube's content. We're actually real life competing with each other to make it all better. See, my thumbnail gotta be yours, your hook gotta be mine, and somebody else is trying to hold the viewer's attention longer than the both of us. So creators voluntarily become better storytellers, better editors, better marketers, and even better entertainers because everybody wants to win. There's nothing wrong with that. And when creators get better, guess whose platform gets better? Exactly.
Today. Your first theme is, and I think it's undeniable at this point, creators are the new stars and the new studios.
You heard the man. We're the studios, which sounds really dope until you realize that we're also the ones paying the tab. Now, before Professor YouTube enters my comments, yes, YouTube has huge expenses. They have servers, engineering, moderation, bandwidth, AI, distribution. I know. Professor YouTube, you gotta chill out. My point is not that YouTube operates for free. My point is that YouTube doesn't have to buy every camera, hire every actor, or even finance every video that ultimately keeps people on the platform. See, somebody else is supplying a crazy amount of inventory, and we see this pattern in some other businesses as well. I mean, let's think about it for a second. Uber doesn't produce or own most of the cars. Airbnb doesn't build or own most of the houses. And YouTube definitely doesn't produce most of the shows. Other people supply the underlying thing, but the platform, well, the platforms build the systems around it. And that alone is powerful. But now let's look at the scale.
Express themselves, share what they want with their audiences. So for example, Shorts is 200 billion views a day. That continues to be an incredibly fast growing.
200 billion views a day. At that point, I stopped thinking like a creator for a second because 200 billion views every single day ain't just traffic. That's 200 billion chances to monetize attention. And now I need to know who's getting paid because the views aren't actually the business. The attention is, and whoever can turn that attention into money, that's who I need to understand. Here's YouTube's business model in kindergarten language. I make something, you watch it, the advertiser wants to reach you, and then YouTube connects everybody. That's the whole machine. Nike doesn't give a damn that I stayed up to 2 a.m. working on this video. Nike only cares that you're here. Toyota wants you, Apple wants you, and even Tesla wants you. And also every personal injury attorney within 50 miles of Houston definitely wants your attention. Anyway, attention is valuable, and YouTube has built one of the biggest places on earth to collect it. And the guy that's running the company, well, he understands advertising better than most.
Relationship with Google. I was responsible for helping monetize YouTube before either of us showed up at Google. And so when I came to Google,
I want y'all to think about that. Before he was running YouTube, he was already helping figure out how to turn all of this attention into money. So YouTube can make money off of my videos before I'm making money off of my videos. That's some bullshit. But clearly somebody's making a whole lot of money here. And before I act like YouTube are just robbing everybody, we do have to be fair because they do send a crazy amount of money back through the ecosystem too.
We intend to remain that way. I'm incredibly proud of the fact that over the last 4 years, we've paid out over $100 billion to creators, artists, media companies, and other partners.
$100 billion. So no, the argument is not that YouTube gets rich while creators get nothing. That wouldn't be real. But plenty creators make ridiculous amounts of money here. The point is to look at the size of the economy that they created. See, creators make money, advertisers find customers, viewers get entertainment, and YouTube, they just run the system connecting all three. The more creators create, the more content attracts viewers, the more viewers attracts more advertisers, and the more ad dollars attract more creators. Around and round the pimping goes. But this is the part that I actually care about because this is exactly where normal people stop at. Damn. YouTube makes a whole lot of money, but investors, we keep going. How do they make money? From who? How repeatable is it? And how hard is it to disrupt? And once you start asking those questions, you ain't rambling about YouTube no more. You're analyzing a business. And the business behind YouTube is Alphabet, also known as Google. So now I've got a much bigger problem. I came in here trying to expose the pimp, and now I got to decide if I want to own him. Think about that for a second. Maybe we should own the pimp, right? But before anybody opens that Robinhood app, y'all need to chill out because finding a great business is really only half the job. Figuring out whether the stock is worth buying is the other half. This is what people do. You discover an amazing company and then you just buy. You ain't did no analysis, no research. You ain't listened to no earnings call. You really can't tell us anything about the underlying company. You just out here operating off faith and vibes. And that is exactly how you own a great business and still lose your money. But I get it. Yes, Google's numbers right now are ridiculous. Revenue's up 24%, search is up 17%, the advertising is up 13%, and Google Cloud is up a whopping 82%. So yeah, they're destroying it right now. But just listen to this.
Jimmy, I'll go to you. Cloud revenue surging. The CapEx number increased. The whole conversation going into these prints, if you're going to raise the spend, you better have the revenue growth to justify it, okay?
That's exactly.
So I get what you're thinking. Fuck it, I'll buy it. Nah. See, this is where some of y'all should not have any brokerage accounts. A good company and a good stock are simply not the same thing. We ain't even checked the price yet. But follow me, because this is what I call investing. See, we don't just need to know that Google's growing. What we need to know is, what are we paying for that growth? How much profit survives? And then how much cash survives? Really, if you want me to put it in a simpler way, how much money does Google have to spend just to stay Google? Because we all know that AI is really expensive as hell. You got data centers, chips, energy, engineers, and infrastructure. Google really is spending a stupid amount of money fighting this war. If that spending creates more profitable growth, beautiful. But if it doesn't, that's a problem. And there's another issue. See, AI ain't just something Google can use to grow. It could potentially disrupt the business that made Google, Google.
Summer, I was in the camp that if Google didn't execute, AI absolutely could start to eat search, and that this would be probably one of the companies that was most at risk.
That's the fight. For years, Google has dominated how people find information, but now we don't even want 10 links. We just want one answer. So think about it. How do we actually Google stuff now? We don't. We just use ChatGPT. See, ChatGPT wants to search, Claude wants your search, Gemini, Perplexity, you get the point. Everybody wants a piece. And that's exactly why we have to play devil's advocate against our own investment thesis. What could kill growth? What could squeeze the margins? Who could take the customers? And what's already priced into the stock? Basically, what messes up the money for Google? That's the difference between saying I like Google and that I understand Google. That's two totally different things. But none of that was the part that actually messed me up. Because while I was researching all of this, I realized I was still looking at YouTube all wrong.
He was like, let's run the test. And I was like, awesome, let's do it. And it was funny because the change was insane because we did it for about like 30 videos and all 30 of them with the closed mouth actually led to higher watch time on the video.
30 videos, same experiment, and the viewers gave him the answer. That's very interesting. I want y'all to remember that.
Collect millions of responses of those surveys and feed them right into the recommendation system, which can then learn a pattern of the types of videos that tend to be more satisfying, looking at a...
Wait, let's run that last part back.
which can then learn a pattern of the types of videos that tend to be more satisfying.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that. Remember earlier when I said YouTube doesn't produce all the videos? Well, that wasn't the crazy part. Remember when we talked about the advertisers? Well, that wasn't the crazy part either. 200 billion views a day? Not even that. It was something else. And when I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And y'all won't be able to either. See, think about traditional Hollywood. Before a studio spends $100 million on a movie, some group of executives have to decide, do we think that people are actually going to watch this? Well, they have research, focus groups, past performance, and sometimes instinct. But at some point, somebody got to put the money up to move forward. Now, let's put those last two clips together. Mr. Beast is testing what makes people click and watch. And YouTube just told us it feeds viewer responses back into recommendations so that their system can learn patterns. But let's zoom out. How many creators uploaded today? How many thumbnails? How many hooks? How many topics? How many different ideas? And how many billions of people responded to those videos? YouTube turned the entire world into a giant, always-on focus group. And most of us don't even realize that we're participating. Just think about it. See, every upload is an experiment. You have a topic, title, thumbnails, hook, editing, and even a story. And then the viewers are the ones who get to grade it. They're going to click, skip, stay, leave, rewatch, maybe even come back tomorrow, again and again and again. Now, every one of those behaviors tells us something, and that's exactly when it hits me. I thought YouTube's biggest asset was the videos. It's not. It's the feedback loop. See, creators keep testing, viewers keep answering, and then YouTube keeps learning. So Netflix has to ask, what do we think the people want? But YouTube gets to watch billions of people answer that question all day, every day, at a scale no traditional focus group could ever even touch. See, we thought we were competing against the algorithm, and that part I never really thought about. And that changed the way that I looked at businesses, because now I don't just ask, what does the company sell? Who gets paid? Who takes the risk? I'm gonna add one more. Who gets smarter every time I use it? Because some businesses don't just make another dollar when you use them. Your activity can actually strengthen the system itself. More usage, more feedback, more information about what the people actually want. And when you find that, y'all better pay attention. Now, I'm not telling y'all to buy. All I'm saying is pay attention. And then you got to do the work. Look at revenue, margins, cash flow, competition, and also valuation. Because now you're not just using products, you're actually learning how to see businesses. So to answer our original question, how do you fight back if YouTube is pimping you? Well, first, you don't just cry about it. You really got to understand what the hell is actually happening. You learn who gets paid, you learn from where the risk sits, but most importantly, you learn what makes the machine stronger. And if the fundamentals make sense and the price makes sense, maybe you stop being the only person getting monetized and become an owner too. Because these same companies are going to spend the next 30 years finding more and more creative ways to make money off the shit that we already do. But I just want to get one thing clear. YouTube, I still want my money. And remember, you thought you were fighting the algorithm, but you were helped teaching it. See, the stock market is a place where money flows into businesses, and the people who understand that flow build wealth. I'm Flo. Y'all subscribe to this channel if you want to understand the market.